Moved on forwards. It's an inviting looking ball, that. Ødegaard. Norway, but it has been just one side doing all of the early probing.
I know it's still early, but they're showing the better side.
Midfielder Bruno Fernandes having picked up a yellow card in 4-2 draw with Hungary. So goal there is the Portugal goalkeeper Joel Costa. It's quite a Saturday theme throughout this side. Joao Cancelo, Val Halal at right back, Ruben Diaz, Spules Gonzalo Ignacio at Hernandez, there is Diogo Dalot. Well then Ruben Neves considers Al Hilal teammate in midfield with the PSG pairing of Joao Neves and Vitinha, with Bernardo Silva then up front along with the Al Nassr pair of Joao Felix, and of course the 40-year-old, the evergreen Cristiano Ronaldo. He captained the side up front this evening. 40 years old, but has still scored 9 goals in 8 games this season for his club side, Al Nassr. And that is a intimidating lineup for Roberto Martinez's side. For Belgium, a former Everton manager, of course, a long-time Everton manager, and saw him exchanging some pleasantries pre-game with his former captain at the Toffees, Seamus Coleman, and now exchanging the pre-game pleasantries with his opposite number, Heimer Hogrimson and John O'Shea, and the backroom staff here for Ireland. So as I say, this evening, with this the penultimate qualifying ride for next summer's World Cup, we'll know by the end of the weekend who is going where, and we could even know at the end of tonight what Ireland's fate will be. Like I said, just the 4 points from their first 4 qualifiers, including a heartbreaking defeat away to Portugal last month. They look to be hanging on for a goalless draw. A missed penalty from Cristiano Ronaldo, but a Ruben Neves screamer in stoppage time. Enough for Portugal to come away with a 1-0 win on that occasion. So we're just about ready to go here. Ireland in all green this evening, of course, the boys in green, and Portugal in all white with green and red flecks on the shirt. Our referee this evening, Sweden, is Glenn Nyberg, and he is just about ready to get us going here. Adam Kitty left to right as the Ipswich time midfielder Jack Hewitt, who has hands on the hips, ready to go, and we're underway. We'll start and we're underway now. It's a bit of a jump in the gum there, but we're underway up the Aviva Stadium in Dublin. I'm Mark Gage. Ireland versus Portugal here for you. The 2026 FIFA World Cup qualifier, Group F, the penultimate game for both of these sides, and well, Ireland have already been dealt a blow this evening. In the early kick-off, Hungary succeeding where Ireland failed, getting a win in Yerevan away to Armenia. A 1-0 win for Michael Rossi's side means that Ireland are now 4 points behind them coming into this game with a trip to Budapest coming up on Sunday. Ireland will be hoping at the very least to still have something to play for going into that game, but what a monumental task it is for them this evening. However, their last 4 times Portugal have been to the Emerald Isle, they haven't won. So we had a World Cup qualifier in 2021, a goalless draw, and then a 1-1 draw back in 2001 in a World Cup qualifier, and then in 1985 as well, a 1-0 win here. So, and throw in out as well a friendly victory in 2005 for Ireland. So something for the Irish fans to cling to, a bit of hope this evening. However, over the last 17 meetings in all between these sides, it's 10 wins for Portugal, 3 draws and 4 defeats coming their way. They've won the last 2 at home, including what I mentioned last month, and also a 3-0 friendly victory last year prior to Portugal heading to Germany for the Euros, which, as I mentioned, was their 6th tournament they qualified for in a row. Wednesday will secure their 7th, but they'll be pretty confident, should I say, doing a business dummy against Armenia on Sunday. They have to use Raw Felix into the box here now. Fidget Aldo back to goal. Back heel and Queven Keller. Owen Red deceiving out a goalkeeper. Plunges down to his right for a fairly simple stop there, and 2 minutes in, Ronaldo with a right smile of space there had Dan O'Shea and his opposite captain Nathan Collins on his back, and just trying something different. Of course, he always is, Cristiano Ronaldo. Like I mentioned, he'll be 41 in Cedric, still producing as ever. We wonder, will next summer be his last international tournament? But to be honest, they probably said that at the last maybe 3 tournaments at least for Cristiano Ronaldo, showing no signs of slowing down, and who knows, I wouldn't imagine he'll be putting any sort of time constraints on his international career. João Neves now to Gonçalo Inácio, the Sporting centre-half. Back in there for Ruben Neves, formerly of course of Wolves, now in Saudi Arabia. Team, as I mentioned, of Joao Cancelo at Al Hilal. Here is Cancelo now on the right hand side, midway of the Irish half. Right, Bernardo Silva, the Manchester City man, throw in to Portugal. That one coming off Finn Azaz, who's now at Southampton. Has started the tour of the Championship recently, held Azaz. And then from Plymouth to Middlesbrough, and then over to Southampton. Strum like Southampton, of course, part of company with their manager Will Still just before this international break. His club teammate Gavin Bazuru on the bench is needed for Ireland, the goalkeeper. The Portuguese fans behind the goal here. Joao Cancelo is attacking, trying to pass Liam Scales, can't do so. That's a corner. 3.5 minutes in, corner kick to Portugal. And you'll see the Portugal fans in the end, the backs on the River Liffey here in Dublin, the smaller end of the stadium, of course built because of residents' concerns over lack of daylight getting into their homes at this beautiful modern stadium. That end is filled with Portugal fans, flags waving, a sea of red and green, and it comes a corner from Bernardo Silva, headed away by Josh Cullen, picked up midway inside his own half by Cancelo, tips around the left, comes in for Vitinha, the Paris Saint-Germain midfielder mentioned in there with his club teammate João Neves. Now one angled out on the right hand side by Ruben Neves. Finds Bernardo Silva, faced up again by Scales. He does indeed appear to be in the left back position. Deep cross over the head of Ronaldo. And it's going to be kept in on the left corner by Vitinha. Azaz goes out there with him. Vitinha socked around the shins, white undershirt and his white Portugal shirt over the top. There's Neves now. To Ruben Diaz, the Manchester City centre-half, out to Amchedo, and now Bernardo Silva. Line with the 18-yard box. Colton Matino, Benny and Scales into the box side. Silva. That's out onto the right-hand touchline again. Portugal nearly 5 minutes here. Dominating the ball out. Ronaldo now jobbing to the right-hand corner of the penalty area. João Neves. Lovely run there, but Bene good defending from the Sheffield United man, just shepherding that one away from Neves. João Neves, that is, out for a goal kick. So Ireland now will hope to hang on to possession for a little bit. They've been camped inside their own half, inside their own box, nearly this opening 5 minutes. Like any real semblance of big chances, that sort of improvised back hitting from Ronaldo, but Queven Keller could have thrown his cap ball if they were wearing one. Not they would need one this evening, just to keep the rain out of his eyes earlier. It's been a miserable day all across Ireland, but the in-house subsided for now at least. Now back to O'Brien, the Everton man, and Cause, the Ireland captain, still wearing the armband despite the return to the lineup of Seamus Coleman. That's a poor pass of Skills, left it short. Now here's Joao Felix, pushing the edge of the penalty area. Vitinha on the edge of the D, gets the shot away, blocked. But a gut of Josh Cullen, that's a hand actually, says Glenn Nyberg. That's a free kick now right on the edge of the box. Ethan Cullen's not happy, and well, that's not what you want if you're Ireland with one of the best free kick takers in the world. Still, and Cristiano Ronaldo in front of you. Oh, look at this now, Vitinha. It does strike Josh Cullen in the arm, and then there's the old argument of how, you know, he's only maybe 5 yards away at most. What's he meant to do? But free kick given, and it's right just on the edge of the D here. Really central here for Cristiano Ronaldo. There's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Portugal players surrounding him. But I mean, I think every man in the country, in the world, here knows that Ronaldo is going to take this one. I'm not sure if they're trying to bit of a scheme neck. Weaving Kelleher lining up his wall, which is currently a 5-man affair with a couple of green shirts sort of lingering nearby. But Ronaldo already assuming that trademark position that he is taking up now for the guts of 20 years, taking a few steps back, the wide stance. Soon I'm sure he'll take the big deep breath. The Portugal have got themselves a mini wall from the island one. Ronaldo now steps up into the walls, flicks off and Liam steals away for a corner. So the age is not gone yet, but certainly whenever Cristiano Ronaldo is about, you'll take that all day long. You know, look at this with here. It does hit Josh Cole in the arm, there's no doubt, but how much he could do about it, I don't know. That was Ruben Neves and the two centre halves, Ruben Diaz and Gonzalo Inacio, will have made up that mini wall that dissipated just as Ronaldo's way to kick it, trying to put him off, or put him off at the Irish defenders, the Irish goalkeeper off. But in the end, it flicked off Liam Skill's head out for a corner, which is going to be taken here. On the far side, right-footed outswinger it is, into the back post. Joao Felix is up, header 1-0 by Azaz. Dallo comes back to the edge of the box to win it back for Portugal. And now it's with Vitinha. Right there for Ruben Neves. Crossed out, a looping deflection, the gloves of Queen and Keller, and again Ireland will just look to settle things down here. Keller slips as he does it, but sends a booming long volley, and Azaz is going to get the end this here. Rip one to Ireland. Azaz into the box, looks back for a Benny, but Charles Neves doing a superb job of getting back, is nicking in there. Goodness me, a side-footed volley pass there from the Ireland goalkeeper, sending Azaz into the Portuguese penalty area. But good tracking back by Charles Neves as Azaz tried to pick out Chidulcio Benny. Now here's Ronaldo, mid-win side, the Irish half. Stubbers and gives the pass back to Zlatan Shader. Now Ruben Diaz, mid-win side, the Irish half. Portugal is slowing things down, almost a walking pace there. Everyone in green behind the ball. Here's Vitinha now. Really is the conductor of this Portuguese orchestra, as he is for his club party Saint-Germain. Here's Ruben Diaz now. Neves back to Diaz. The grounds created at Aviva Stadium started being worked this month, as well as this game. We've had the Ireland Internationals, Ireland Rugby that is, played last Saturday, and we're playing again this Saturday. So a quick turnaround to get the pitch ready again for rugby, but you can barely see the leftovers of the lines in the rugby. So credit to the Aviva Stadium ground staff there, and the pitch is still looking fantastic condition despite that downpour today. Here's Dallo now on the left-hand top side line, the 18-yard box. Inacio back to Dallo. Nice turnout there by Joao Felix. Here he comes now for Neves. Ronaldo immediately seized upon there by Azaz and won back by Azaz. And now Steels is trying to attack, but Vitinha wins it back, and a free kick give against Taylor. Well, advantage played for what was it chose to be a foul by Taylor. So on the right-hand side now for Bernardo Silva, overlapping Ruben Neves to the byline. Cuts on back for Ronaldo, and he hits over the bar just as we hit the 10-minute mark. And that one was more like what you would see here on Saturday for the Ireland Rugby, leading back, but not one over the bar. But like in rugby, Alba doesn't get you any points, Cristiano. But the foul there just given by Jack Keeler on Vitinha, the referee eventually do kind of advantage for. Not quite sure the majority inside the Aviva Stadium agree with that one, but in the end comes the nod as we look at Roberto Martinez. It is the second international job in a row having been in charge of Belgium for 6 years between 2016 and 2022, taking over the Portugal job in 2023, leading to the quarter-finals of last year's European Championships, and then winning the UEFA Nations League over this summer, back-to-back champions of that. And as I say, now on the verge of qualifying for next summer's World Cup in North America. Taylor with a risky pass there back to Nathan Collins. That's the last thing Collins wants, is backtracking towards his own goal with Ronaldo bearing down on him, but he gets it back to Kelleher again. Goes route one, but too much on that one. Very fast, but not that fast. And we got a first touch, I reckon, for the Portugal goalkeeper, Diogo Costa, all in yellow this evening. The Porto goalkeeper. There he is. João Neves on the halfway line. Vitinha. João Neves, his injury problems as of late, but his return to the PSG side just before this international window, so a judge fit. And as I mentioned, no Bruno Fernandes this evening, the Manchester United captain, missing due to suspension, but I would imagine will be in the squad on Sunday for the visit of Armenia. Now there's Darryl Shea, who was in there before Bernardo Silva, made skills plays from deep in the left back position. Now here's Troy Parrott. He's had to come all the way inside his own half to get that one. He's looking to throw in, so Portugal does an Ireland throw just inside their own half on the left hand side. I mentioned Troy Parrott, the former Tottenham Hotspur youngster. Now he seems to really be finding his feet in the Netherlands. Went over there with Excelsior first on loan, and then made that a permanent deal before joining AZ. He has really been bagging them in this season. 13 goals in 14 games for Parrott. Then I deemed that one by Inacio, and now it's back again with Portugal. As Ralph Felix approaching the penalty area on the left hand side. Cohen with a challenge, and then Nyberg gestures to João Felix to get up, and ball bounces over the head of Joe Costa, but no be a right everything go get to. João Felix is still on the ground rubbing his knee, but a challenge that time from Cohen, just to be fair, by our Swedish official. And now here's Vitinha in the centre circle for the Selecao. Actually, Ruben Neves, and now Ruben Diaz. Cancedo back to Diaz, former teammates at Manchester City. Diaz still a key part of Pep Guardiola's side. Cancedo, of course, had a rather public fallout with his former manager. And find his way to Saudi Arabia via a stint at Barcelona. Now here's Gonçalo Inácio, the Sporting centre half. Of course, Portuguese title and cup winner last season. The night here's Ireland on the break. They give it away. Now Parrott down the right hand touch channel. Benny's in the middle. White shirt's going back. Oh, he find out Benny. Oh, good interception there. That was Vitinha getting back there just to get a toe in before Benny. His here is whipped away. Now Coleman, he gets away from Felix. Gets the ball in there. Taken down the chest by Azaz. He just can't get the shot away before Neves, Ruben that is, takes it off his toes. And Portugal come away with it. That's promising there for Ireland. I think any Irish fan that attend this night, listening or watching anything, we're probably not expecting too much by the way of possession, but here, and that has been the way here, nearly 14 minutes, but a couple of route one balls that have caused the Portuguese defence some problems, but Diogo Costa in the Portuguese goal so far. Melia spectator. However, Creeping Calendar hasn't had a whole lot to do here. It must be said. Open our commentator's press club. Here's Vitinha. Sprays on now on the right hand side for Bernardo Silva. Tries to get across it. Loops up near us. Steals. And Taylor gets ahead to it. Mounted back down by Cancedo. Now Vitinha right midway inside the Irish half. Ruben Neves back to Ruben Diaz. Now Vitinha approaching the penalty area. Boy, just appears out of the ball on a string on the end of the slit does Vitinha. Another former Wolves man, of course. Much reported as his stint in the Midlands at Molyneux before becoming one of maybe he's always has been, but really kicking on as one of the best midfielders in the world, and was one of the finalists for the Ballon d'Or, of course won by his club teammate in the end was Dembele, but Vitinha one of the finalists, and maybe thought we had a better shout at it than Dembele, but no matter. Here's Dalu now on the left hand top line, the Manchester United man, starting in the absence I mentioned of Nuno Mendes. Ruben Neves now angles one to the far corner for that was for Bernardo Silva, and so it's Rock Cancedo. They were trying to go over there, got on the chest but just couldn't bring it down, and that's going to be a goal kick. We've now played 16 minutes here at the Aviva Stadium in Dublin. Group F, World Cup qualifying. Winner go home time for Ireland. They want to at least extend their competitive football into Sunday's qualifying finale in Budapest. It started here against Hungary in Dublin, a 2-2 draw, which really was a positive result. They were 2-0 down after falling behind early, and it was all doom and gloom again that the qualifying campaign had written off. And out there, Troy Parrott, but just robbed Diogo Costa as Costa brought him down. The referee says no, the fans are incensed that far out of the corner for Ireland, but the fans are looking more than that. Diogo Costa robbed by Troy Parrott, who then tried to go around him and did the Portugal goalkeeper bring him down. Let's have a look here. Costa way too nonchalant there. And in the end, it was actually cleared behind by João Cancelo coming back to cover for his goalkeeper. Goodness me, now Nathan Collins is having a word with Glenn Nyberg. And I'm wondering, is the Ireland captain maybe asking him or prodding, are you going to have a look at this, referee? Because that was far too nonchalant. Nothing yet. It appears that this is going to be a corner, nothing more. It's arrowed in here to the back post, so Shea was up. Steal for back post at end anyway. Doesn't it? Corner. Well, it's Pilot scored. 17-minute goal on the Aviva Stadium is in raptures. It's Ireland 1. That's Portugal 0. And it's Troy Parrott. Questions away the penalty before it. Doesn't matter. The corner to the back post. Liam Scales nods the back across goal. And there's Parrott, one of the hottest strikers in Europe this season, to know it home from close range. And he takes in the adoring cheers of his name here at the Aviva Stadium. And it is Ireland who lead Portugal 1-0, completely against their run of play. That corner is a brilliant delivery from George Cullen. Liam Scales drifting away to the back post, losing his marker, nods across goal. There's at least 3 Portugal shirts in there, but Parrott from all of about 3 yards just basically had to let it hit him, but he nods it home, and the Aviva Stadium erupts, and the Ireland bench erupts. It is Ireland 1, Portugal 0. What a story here evolving in Dublin. It's still early days, but Ireland against their other play lead against Portugal here after 18 minutes. Troy Parrott with the goal, and now Ireland have a lead to defend. Dalot now for Portugal as they desperately try to come back. Of course, Ireland were asking a question about a penalty, the corner only. What a delivery from Josh Cullen. This took a little flying missile to the back post where Liam Scales peeled away. I think it was João Felix was marking him. Scales peeled away from him, nods it back across goal. Now there's a booking for João Cancelo, and things are just maybe going from bad to worse to Portugal. They'll have to settle their heads here. That was about as cynical a fight as they can come. Cancelo really crowded into Dara O'Shea there. That's just frustrations boiling over there from the Portugal right back, and he is the first man for either side to go into Glenn Nyberg's book this evening. I think maybe had Ireland not scored there, Glenn Nyberg might have had a bit more of a microscope on him for not awarding out of the penalty. Not even looking at the penalty. And now Benito has got away from Ignacio. They pulls it back for Zaz, and his low shot is straight at Diogo Costa, an easy save for the goalkeeper. But Ireland have their tails up. The green smoke bombs are being let off behind the goal occupied by Diogo Costa, and he was beaten all ends up there by Troy Parrott. Nothing he could have done. Rightfully looking around at his defence, asking where they've gone to, as Vitinha skips away from Taylor. Bernardo Silva back to Ruben Diaz, just inside the Irish half now. 20 minutes gone at the Aviva Stadium. It's Ireland 1, Portugal 0, as the boys in green try to keep their faint World Cup qualification hopes alive. Nobody gave them a prayer coming into this one, but goodness me, 20 minutes in is a long way to go. Nobody would have had Ireland up by a goal to 0. Ronaldo back to Ignacio, midway inside the Irish half. Out to Dalot on the left top side, in line with the edge 18-yard box, faced up by Clomans. He was back inside his João Neves, and now Vitinha, and he works it out onto the right-hand touchline for Cancelo. Nice touch to Bernardo Silva as Dara O'Shea on, so he was back to Ruben Diaz. The Portugal defence up here nearly within about 30 yards of the Irish goal. Everyone in green behind the ball. Nice thing pull to the top, and there's Steele. Super work with the Celtic man to get in there. He's got an assist to his name. That's pretty. Now Zaz is going to give one from Bene to chase. He's going to test the pace of Ignacio, but it's actually Ruben Diaz that will come across the cover. Back he goes to Diogo Costa. If I'm better, they sense he charge him behind. He does, because Costa was far too nonchalant giving that ball to Troy Parrott. And now there's Cullen is all over. There's Brown Neves, no free kick given, but the ball does find their way to a white shirt. And Portugal looking somewhat rattled here. Ireland have their tails up, roared on by the sellout crowd here in Dublin. Vitinha into the Irish half he goes, back out to the left for Ignacio. Now João Neves faced up by Obene, he's 30 yards from goal. He's roughly about 15 metres to the top side, I can tell, as they just make out the Fiat Martins of the rugby. That cheers. Vitinha trying to work space for his shot. He gets away from Cullen, ball tipped over the top of João Felix, and too long for everybody. And that's a goal kick, and Ireland will take that one all day long. That's colourful away end behind Caoimhin Kelleher's goal, full of red and greens. Flags were waving earlier, and flags are all down by their sides now. And it is Ireland who lead. Well, you know, it's Ruben Diaz who, well, initially it was João Felix who was picking up Liam Scales as he peeled away to the back post. His nod back across goal. Find Troy Parrott, who'd been tussling with Ruben Diaz, and the Manchester City defender uncharacteristically caught ball watching and just give Parrott that inch of space he needed. Ball to the top for Albeni, but another one that she does here on Finney is fast, not that fast, it'll bounce into their gloves of Diogo Costa. Quite incredible in Ireland have 2 shots on target inside of Portugal's 1. I mentioned Portugal dominating the ball, but Caoimhin Kelleher not really tested so far. 22 minutes gone here. It's Ireland 1, Portugal 0. These are famous nights here at the Aviva Stadium, and proud up Lansdowne Road wins against the likes of Germany, against the likes of Italy. Big wins to secure a qualification. Goodness me, could we be looking back at another one tonight? We're still a long way to go. Vitinha now on the edge of the box, out to the left hand side for Ignacio. He's going to take a stride back there and deliver that one right footed, coincided with Ignacio. And it comes over the head of Ronaldo, and well, he and Shaw Fairs have taken a hand there. I'm not sure maybe that would have come off in a hand. It's headed away by Collins. Right back to Dallo and Ignacio midway inside the Irish half. Dallo now 15 years. Portugal side certainly won't panic. There's too much quality experience in this side for that, but they certainly have had their cages rattled here. Now Ruben Diaz. Now on to the right hand side for Ruben Neves. Now Bernardo Silva taking on Liam Scales. Darren O'Shea over there doubling out with him. Finazal's helping out too, so he has to go back to Diaz, and it comes over Ronaldo's head, headed away by O'Shea. Vitinha tried to bring it down under pressure from Parrott. Now João Neves on the right hand top side, mid-range side of the Irish half. Back inside to Conchedo. Vitinha where runs that one side, but he gets to it before a green shirt can. Vitinha digs it a pass over the top as too long again for everybody, and once again that one will bounce out for a goal kick to Ireland. 24 minutes gone here. It is Ireland 1, Portugal 0 at the Aviva Stadium, listening to the live FIFA World Cup qualifying action here on Flash Score Official. I'm MatchDay. Thanks for joining me this evening wherever you are elsewhere in World Cup qualifier, but we're the only goal in the late kick-offs. It's Andorra 0, Albania 0, England 0, Serbia 0. You listened to that one too on Flash Score Official. It's France 0, Ukraine 0, and Moldova 0, Italy 0. Earlier, as I mentioned, a result that went against Ireland, but I'll not be worried about too much now. I've fished Armenia 0, Hungary 1. Also Azerbaijan 0, Iceland 2, and a big one for Norway. Another big win. The Norwegians, Stella Solbakkens men defeating Estonia 4-1. Okay, it was 0-0 at half-time before Alexander Storlov and of course Erling Haaland, who else got a pair of goals each, and have put the Norway side right, well, effective is, we'll say 1 foot into the World Cup. But if Italy win tonight, which currently they're not doing against Moldova, worth noting, but if Italy were to win tonight, those two face off on Sunday in their final game, take an enormous goal difference swing for Norway to be eliminated. So Erling Haaland and the rest of that Norway squad are going to be heading to a World Cup. I know it's an extended World Cup, but they'll have earned their spot regardless. Watch that 11-0 or 11-1 victory over Moldova earlier in qualifying for them. Portugal started out their campaign with a big win away to Armenia, 5-0. As there's a lovely strike and a dipping one there from Ruben Neves. The Mesha scored that long-range winner in stoppage time last month in Portugal. trying a dipping effort then. We did. And he catch Kelleher out in the greasy surface. Another long ball for Benny to chase. Was he pushed there by Ruben Neves tracking back? No. Instead, now Perpi Aviva Stadium up in arms again there. But the Swedish official unmoved. Portugal started out with 2 wins. 5-0 away to Armenia and 3-2 at home to Hungary. And then that's 1-0 to Ireland last month. And then pegged back with a 2-0 draw against Hungary. But there was certainly nothing to suggest that he wouldn't still cruise into this World Cup. And Ireland making life difficult for him. Onto the right touchdown for Cancedo. Outside of his right boot, gets the ball in. Good header away by Collins. Back right to Cancedo. We now have Skills all over him. But he gets it back. In fizzer Ruben Neves. Should know that's Liam Skills. He doesn't have Skills like a fish now. That's just for clarification. There's an Alcio out for Ronaldo. He hits one, scuffs it, and an easy pickup for Kelleher. Bernardo Silva bearing down on there. Ronaldo almost flicked that one up to himself from the drilled pass from Ruben Neves, and as he tried to hit it on the turn, it just wouldn't sit for him, and Kelleher got to it before Ruben Neves. There's Jake O'Brien smashing his peers into João Felix for a throw-in for Ireland. 27 minutes gone, and then 1 Portugal 0. Seamus Coleman, long throw down the line, header won by Ignacio above Benny. Cohen looks for Parrott, gets a nice touch to Parrott. Benny, right touchdown midway inside the Portuguese half. There's Cohen, and he was surely fired by João Felix. He was indeed. And the Al Nasser man from the course of Chelsea, Atletico Madrid, AC Milan, and Benfica. Quite the CV for João Felix. But the effort really setting it in his biz late and night, playing alongside Cristiano Ronaldo in the Saudi Premier League, Saudi Pro League side, should I say, and he's hasn't had a great opening 28 minutes here. He lost his man Liam Skills, who nodded back across goal over Parrott. And that's a traditional striker's tackle there on the tough side. So now just inside the Portuguese half, Josh Cohen can send one long doors edge of box, flicked on, hooked away by Bernardo Silva. Dara O'Shea brings it down. Liam Skills back to Finazaz. I think he's been offside there given. So free kick it is to Portugal. It is deep right on the edge of their own box. So that one comes in the end as the 2 defenders, Skills and O'Shea, trying to link up, but to no avail. Now here's João Neves into Vitinha, the PSG pairing, midway inside the Irish half. Right inside the Ruben Neves, now Gonçalo Inácio. Double Inácio. Ruben Neves to his namesake Ruben Diaz. Back to Vitinha. Vitinha, 1-2 with João Neves. Back to Vitinha, approaching the penalty area. Out on the right hand touchline now for Bernardo Silva, faced up by Liam Skills. And now Vitinha on the edge of the box trying to work space. None coming, good pressing there by Azaz. Back with Gonçalo Inácio. He finds João Felix as he fouled. No, Seamus Coleman get the foot in. And now here's Parrott on the run again. Parrott trying to get away from Inácio, but he has his arms all over the Irish striker, and Parrott has done a super job of holding that one up, waiting for support. Still none really coming to one. João Neves gets it away from, just as Benny and Azaz were trying to join him in attack. And well, that has been out his night really through the first half an hour, is just trying to catch that Portuguese defence out, because Portugal are definitely committing a lot of men forward. There's pace in that Irish attack with Benny and Parrott. And it is the AZ ultimate man who has Heimer Haukum's men ahead here by 0-0. Nolling home from Liam Skills' header back across goal. Vitinha just creates space and where he goes. Cancedo. Even though there is no space, he looks at these. But all the time in the world. Bernardo Silva now. Deflected by Skills into the path of Ruben Neves. Lovely touch into the box. A good strong defending by Dara O'Shea. And Azaz is in the corner, faced up with Ruben Diaz. And in the end, he forced that one into touch. Diaz has a throw in to Portugal right in the corner. But it was back now to midway inside the Irish half with Inácio. Gonçalo Inácio. Back to Ruben Neves. No João Neves. He's going to hit one, Neves in range. We had Keller scrambling, but it dips wide of the post. And well, as we play half an hour here, as the Portugal capable of those, but I think if you said to Heimer how Grimson and these Irish fans that they would be restricting Portugal to a few long-range pop shots maybe through the opening half an hour, I think they'd be fairly pleased with that one, as Neves' effort just was never coming right there. So half an hour gone in Dublin. It's Ireland 1, Portugal 0. Great start here for Heimer Howkins is in England. Also, I take the lead, of course. Thomas Tuchel's might have already done the business. They're 1-0 up against Serbia, though. At Wembley Stadium. Kyle Saka with the goal for England. And here it's Troy Parrott with the goal for Ireland. And say, shocking Europe here with this 1-0 lead over Roberto Martinez's Portugal. There's Azaz. Benny tries to get past Ignacio, can't do so. Felix to Vitinha, back to Felix, over halfway in the centre circle. Shaw Felix bumped off that one by Troy Parrott, no foul. And Ireland come away, that Skeels over the halfway line, the left hand side. Has Benny and Parrott out with him. Liam Skeels plays it back. And Josh Cohen on halfway back into the Irish half for Nathan Collins. Liam Skeels going further, a 4-8 forward there, and then having a look up and realising there's nobody really in green with him. Here's Jake O'Brien, the Everton man. One from East Cork. So View in East Cork, Jake O'Brien. He is former Leon man, of course, really burst onto the scene with Leon. Has become a key member now under David Moyes at Everton. How he originally made that move to Premier League, it didn't quite work out for him originally, and there's Ignacio with a bit of an uncouth clearance in the touch on the right hand side under pressure from Bennett. Yeah, it didn't quite work out initially for Jake O'Brien at Everton, and there's many Irish fans looking to really jump ship too soon from Leon, but he has worked hard and has become a regular under David Moyes. Sometimes, as I mentioned earlier, at fullback, sometimes at centre half. I think his versatility across the back line and his athleticism, his height, his strength is something that David Moyes really values. Here's a man that David Moyes values too. Coleman, Seamus Coleman, yeah. Everton Telcap, the 37 years old, the pride of Donegal, Seamus Coleman. A nice 1-2 there with Josh Cohen, and then one back by João Neves. Now here's Ruben Diaz in the centre circle for Portugal. 34 minutes gone here in Dublin, where it is Ireland 1, Portugal 0. As mentioned, the other goal in European qualifying in the later games is at Wembley, as England leads Serbia by a goal to nil. Elsewhere it's goalless in Andorra and Albania, between France and Ukraine, and between Moldova and Italy. A scoreline that would incidentally 100% confirm Norway's progression to the World Cup, although they're just about there anyway. Another GoalFest for Erling Haaland on tool this evening. Earlier they beat Estonia 4-1. Iceland beating Azerbaijan 2-0, and this script Hungary winning 1-0 away at Armenia. Real good display from Marco Rossi's men. A goal from Barnabas Varga. Swap Felix into the box and blocked away. Now Benny will use his pace. He's just knock the ball ahead of him and catch up with. He's over the halfway line. Now to Benny. We really parting the Zaz in the middle, which will try and take on the tee again. That's super work from the man on loan at Sheffield United this season, Bennett. Of course, had a taster of Premier League football with both Luton and Ipswich, relegated with both of them, and now playing regular in the Championship. And before he did just about as well as he could have done there, knocking that one off the shoes of the team here for an Ireland throw and allowing them to get bodies forward in attack here. As we've got 10 minutes left until half time here in the Irish capital. And Jake O'Brien, something also worth noting. Jake O'Brien has a Rory Delap-esque throw-in, a monster of a throw. There's plenty of room along the sidelines here at the Aviva Stadium for him to take a run up. And take a run up he is. He's drying that ball off. And here it comes. Jake O'Brien launches one into the box. A long throw-in. Header away. Aaron Bears down the ground. Collins looks it back at Parrott. Oh, he's offside anyway. Not great contact, but I think Troy Parrott would have been offside there anyway. Portugal vacated the penalty very quickly. It was left of Benny and Parrott standing quite clearly offside when Collins knocked down, but he didn't get a good touch on anyway. And Diogo Costa with an easy save. Now here come Portugal with up. Low throw in from Jake O'Brien, causing a bit of carnage there in the middle for Portugal. He sort of seems to have stayed out there as he and Seamus Coleman seem to be trying to interchange roles as wing backs and centre halves. Now here's Vitinha, skips past Parrott. Ronaldo on the edge of the box, back to Vitinha. For a couple of early chances, including a direct free kick that deflected off the wall. Ronaldo's be fairly quiet, but that's it's too quiet. Quiet, too quiet, as they'll say. I think that's really what it's like with Cristiano Ronaldo. He's lurking in the edge of the box here and not getting possession. Ruben Neves now. On the right touchline. There's a deep cross in there for Joao Felix, and his header lands on the roof of the net. He got up above Seamus Coleman. He's deceptively tall as Joao Felix. You don't often think of him as an aerial threat, but he is a tall man. He certainly outjumped Seamus Coleman there, arriving near to the back post, but his header ended up landing harmlessly on the roof of Creedon Kelleher's net. Goal kick taken short between Collins and Kelleher, and now two Brentford men now. Kelleher. So Collins hit on the left hand top side there for Jack Taylor, who's been really busy. He's been through a lot of the dirty work. Matt Irish midfield along with Josh Cohen. There's another long ball for O'Benny to chase. If he's onside, he's got this first. O'Benny to the left corner of the penalty. Have Parrott there with him. Collins streaking forward. O'Benny off the post. Oh, I don't believe it. Chidolce O'Benny off the foot of the far post, trying to turn it into the far corner. And Portugal get to the rebound and cleared away. Now here's Felix in the centre circle. Beason for Joao Neves. A post switch delay from being 3-0 up Ireland. Strong challenge from Azaz. Add another one. Wow. Exciting challenge there from Finn Azaz and Ruben Diaz. And that's going to be a yellow card. That's to help the midfielder. But he's left both Ruben Diaz and Joao Felix on the Aviva Stadium turf there. Finn Azaz just stretching, I think, for that last one. And yeah, he's taken Ruben Diaz out by the roots, to be quite frank. But one ball again. And enjoying facing Chidolce O'Benny and Troy Parrott. And that was so close. O'Benny. It is Dara O'Shea's long ball forward. O'Benny onside, got the better of Gonzalo Inacio. And then as he moved to the left of the penalty area, opened up his body, right footed, low shot. Costa couldn't get near to hit the post and just wouldn't fall for Parrott, who was coming in the rebound. So close there is just confirmation of Finn Azaz now in the referee's notebook. Johnny Frog can say those has won each of the yellow cards, but Ireland lead by 0-0. Over there's Ruben Neves with past Skills. Skills back to him. Takes a couple of bounces there off Neves. Down in the box, Ronaldo surrounded by bodies, headed away by Dara O'Shea, caused wide for Vitinha. Now Dallo in the left corner of the penalty on his right foot, gets one in. Ronaldo was up there, bodies everywhere. Ireland throwing themselves this one, looking for a free kick. Volley for Vitinha, spilled by Kelleher, back across goal, and O'Shea clears off an Irish defender. It's chaos. Joao Felix hooked it back in, and it's going to go behind for a corner kick. Goodness me, that was just chaos in the Irish box there. It was Vitinha with the volley that forced the save from Creedon Kelleher, and then the Irish clears, rebounding off their own man. And in the end, Joao Felix went forward, took a nick off an Irish defender and out for a corner. Those Portuguese flags waving again behind the goal. It's going to be a right-footed in-swinging corner here. I can't quite make out who's going to take it. Well, there it is. Rock and settled to take this one. 6 minutes till the break. Bit of a chaotic spell there inside the Irish box. Then Nyberg just making sure there's not too much jostling there before he signals kind of say to him. Now it's taken short to Ruben Neves. Back out to Joao Felix, and Portugal go all the way back to midfield side the Irish half. Vitinha now. He's going to arrow one in deep, and there's a header back across goal. Strike over the bar. Ooh, that was close from Diogo Dallo, of all the attacking talent in this Portuguese side. You wouldn't think the Manchester United fullback would be the man to have an effort like that, but the corner kick worked all the way back there, and it was actually, I think it was Gonzalo Inacio who won the header. It was blocked accidentally by his old man. We're getting our look at that save from Creedon Kelleher over Vitinha's effort. It was Bernardo Silva who got to it first, and then he tried to play it back across goal. Dara O'Shea got to it before Joao Neves, but his clears rebounding off Finn Azaz and back into the danger zone, but Ireland survived. Here is Azaz now. Lovely. But gets between two Portuguese defenders. Azaz into the box. Still going for Azaz. Still going. Hits a shot. It's blocked. And taken away by Dallo before Benny could get to it. So there's an open carry on both ends. Nathan Collins side holding off Fernando, the two captains. Oh, drop now for O'Brien. Cullen, the Coleman. Lovely touch with Coleman on Benny. Coleman trying to return the run, but Dallo gets his way in. Well, Coleman was trying to do the run of either Troy Parrott or Finn Azaz. So both of them kind of on their heels there. On Ruben Neves for picking up on the edge of the box. Just under 5 minutes plus stoppage time left at the end of this first half here in Dublin. It's still Ireland 1, Portugal 0. The goal from Troy Parrott. After he thought if he should have had a penalty, got the corner only, didn't matter. And Josh Cullen with a brilliant delivery into the back post. Leighton Scales hitting away, not the back cross goal, and Parrott in order to hold him all the way 2-3 yards. Bernardo Silva out of the right hand touchline. That's had Liam Scales all over him in this first half. Back now to Fatidia on the edge of the box. He's been a bright spark for Portugal. Dallo with loads of room now in the left hand flank, but now closed down by Bene. Goes back and feed to Fatidia again. Joao Felix, he had a header land on the roof of the net, but that's back. I think it'd be a video replay of that Ireland goal. It's him who lost Liam Scales as the Celtic man made the run to the back post. Now here's Bernardo Silva. Gets it into the right hand corner of the penalty after João Neves. Couple of dummies. Now Bernardo Silva, who's there again, Liam Scales, of course he is. Back inside there, Dishra Cancedo. It's time to take a run about cross. Ronaldo tries to get a dance out about Collins clears, and Cullen gets it away for Ireland. Ruben Neves under pressure on Jack Taylor, but he gets it right on the right hand touchline again, right corner of the penalty area. Ireland having to soak up pressure late in the first half, but Silva stooped going forward for Cancedo. Dado O'Shea gets ahead to as a corner. He thought maybe there was a high boot there from Joao Cancedo, but nothing doing from either referee or linesman. It is just a direct corner kick to Portugal. So Ireland will be hoping just to soak up this pressure. If it could go in at half time, a goal to the good, that would be fantastic. But a goal now for Portugal is an old cliche, but no better time to score it right before the break. And Ruben Neves is going to be held from taking this corner kick as the referee wants a word with the fee. There's the middle. I can see Ruben Diaz and Liam Scales jostling. Now Neves does take a right to the right space. Ronaldo gets up for it. Comes to Felix in the back post. Blocked by O'Brien. Back there for Dallo, who again volleys it over the top of the corner. Not sure who that last deflection came off, but it was Jake O'Brien who blocked Cristiano Ronaldo's first effort. And then Dallo on the volley taking a nick on his way over. So Ruben Neves will go back over there. And everyone can keep their places here for take 3. Alfred on the fielder. Right hand into the air. Neither comes out right to the right strand. Dean this one. Keller gets a fist to it. Back in Joao Felix, and he can't keep it down, and that will go down well among the majority out inside the Aviva Stadium. Joao Felix just sort of coming out ball, hitting that sort of sliced effort, but it was always rising and into the Portuguese stands behind the goal. This initial one, I was actually following the Joao Felix, an acrobatic effort that was blocked by Jake O'Brien. A big block it was to the net of the, I believe it was Finn Azaz. He threw himself in front of Diogo Dallo's effort. The Nick Dawes way out for a corner kick. So we'll see here very shortly what sort of added time we shall have at the end of a pulsating first half here in Dublin. That sees Ireland, who have had to soak up a lot of pressure, as you'd expect, but they have hit Portugal on the break and then lead 1-0. And now they're hitting on the break again. Troy Parrott in behind. Left corner Italia, he had a goal score. Out cuts on the right foot. Parrott, no, it's in his time. Troy Parrott, the stroke of half time. Has just decided Portugal who would need to score now, but Troy Parrott has made it 3-0 to Ireland out of his bedlam once again inside the Aviva Stadium. What did I say? One of the hottest strikers in Europe, and he shows it again. It's Ireland 2, Portugal 0 as we go into 1 that has stoppage time, and Ireland are in dreamland. The Aviva is an absolute raptures, and Portugal do not know one has hit them in this first half. They have had Ireland under the cosh for most of the stadium. Pirate on side, as that was probably is it, but he's not influenced to play at all. Pirate picks up the left corner of penalty area, cuts inside Diaz, cuts inside Neves, and it's a low strike. Diogo Costa will be really disappointed with that one. There's nothing he could have done with the first one, but that's a low trickling shot really from Pirate. He's really onside it, but Pirate just squeezed it inside near post. Diogo Costa couldn't get down low enough to his right. Troy Pirate has a double for Ireland. They lead Portugal by 2-0 as we head into first half stoppage time here in Dublin. The World Cup qualifying dream is very much alive at half time here at the Aviva Stadium. The Portugal players, I think, there's really is discussions about an offside. I don't think it's Pirate is offside, as Zaz might be. He doesn't do anything at all, doesn't influence the play whatsoever. And may we have this one called back? Surely not. After all that, the Ireland fans are still bouncing till the shirts are off. The green slope bombs are let off again. Somebody's going to all lose in tonight. Let me tell you, the Aviva Stadium security maybe not quite doing their job, but it is 2-0 to Ireland here tonight in Dublin. Troy Pirate at the double. Vitinha and Ronaldo are having words with Glenn Nyberg. Now he's brought both captains in, Cristiano Ronaldo and Nathan Collins, to have a word here. I did notice in the background of the celebrations that Chidotio Bene had got himself into a bit of a tussle while the Portuguese defenders, while they're trying to wrestle the ball back. And perhaps that's what the referee is going to have a word with, because it's not honestly obvious. I haven't been told, but the goal stands anyway. Maybe it's just a case of telling everybody to calm down. But nobody, there's going to be no calming down. The Irish fans inside the Aviva Stadium are listening along tonight. It is Ireland 2, it is Portugal 0 at the Aviva Stadium. Troy Pirate with the double. Our Portugal are going to try here. We're over the 1 minute, obviously, but that's not a goal, and the resulting discussions and the referee have taken its over. So Portugal probably will have time for one more attack here in this first half, as Ireland will hope to keep them out. Ruben Diaz, that must have been who was colliding with Chidotio Bene. I would assume the Irishman might have got looked as well, but no confirmation yet. Dallo, left hand touch sign, line with the penalty area, back to Vitinha. Vitinha now to Ruben Diaz, and on he has been booked. Now Joao Cancelo away on the right touch sign for Bernardo Silva. There's the skills again. Silva gifted into the box, and Jack Taylor gets a touch out for a corner. There is going to be time for it, but I would imagine this will be the last play of the first half here. There's Ruben Neves coming over to take it. Going to be another right-footed right swinger from the Al Hilal midfielder. Can Ireland hold out one more Portuguese attack before half-time? Neves. In it comes, headed away by Cullen. Back in there, hooked towards goal, and it's going to dribble wide. And that's going to be half-time here, I believe. There's the referee, actually. The Portuguese player just surrounding the referee, but it's half-time. Half-time it is. It is indeed not again. Maybe the handball came at perhaps. I have no idea. But what I do have an idea about is it is Ireland 2, Portugal 0 at half-time at the Aviva Stadium. Troy Pirate at the double has stunned the visitors here in Dublin tonight. I'm sure they didn't underestimate Ireland, but I don't think there's too many that anticipated this scoreline at the break in Dublin. It is half-time at the Aviva Stadium. It's Ireland 2. It's Portugal 0. Make sure you don't go anywhere for this second half. Don't get yourself a cup of tea and settle down. I'm going to try and settle down here. What a first half. Whereas this stunning first half, as sees Ireland lead Portugal by 2-0. Troy Parrott at the doubles. Portugal, Owen White get us back underway for the second half. Ireland all in green. Roberto Martinez has made a double sub at half time, both coming at the back. First, Renato Vega, of Villarreal, formerly of Chelsea and Juventus, is on for Gonzalo Ignacio. He was caught out on more than one occasion by the pace of Troy Parrott and Chidunzo Benny up front. He's off on the other shoes. He's Roca Macedo at right back. He was booked in the first half. He's replaced by the Fenerbahce man, Nelson Semedo. So there's the changes at the break for Portugal. We'll get the full teams for you now. Referees then Nyberg. Portugal on the attack, and here is Semedo. First touch for him. Liam steals his own, as he was all over Cancedo and Silva in the first half. Here's Bernardo Silva again. Right hand touchline for Portugal. Back inside to Neves. Midway set the Irish half. Back forward again to Bernardo Silva. Cuts over his left foot. From Neves. The Irish will affect the Ruben Diaz. Up Portugal now. Regis falls as Costa. Semedo. Diaz. Vega. He's on the ball now. Dallo. Ruben Neves. Shaw Neves. Vitinha. Bernardo Silva. Shaw Felix. And Cristiano Ronaldo. For Ireland, no changes. Funnily enough, for Heimer Hallgrimsson's men. Although I'd imagine that the second half wears on, the legs start to fill with lactic acid, and it just gets a little bit more difficult to get around this pitch. He will utilise that bench. For now, for Ireland is Kelleher, Coleman, O'Shea, Collins, the captain, O'Brien, Skeels, Colin, Taylor, Azaz, O'Bene, and the double goal scored Parrott. Semedo gets the ball in. Nathan Collins turns it behind for a corner. So 90 seconds into the second half, it's a corner kick for Portugal. Ireland, we know this is a must-win for them. Particularly after Hungary's win earlier today away to Armenia, put them 4 clear of Ireland. Hungary sitting in second place. Hungary will be licking their lips at this one, because they know that Portugal defeat means that they can still be ready to end on top of the group. Vega flicks it up. Oh, and the mess from Vitinha kind of spins wide. Well, the substitute Renato Vega immediately into the game with the front post, flicking that one on. And Vitinha, we got away from Jake O'Brien at the back post. The ball arrived to him, but it just wouldn't sit for him, and he hooked it wide. The first chance of the second half goes the way of Portugal. Gets the rider across of Roberto Martinez on the bench, as he'll be looking for a bit more from his side. Kelleher, long goal kick forward. As I mentioned, Hungary beating Armenia 1-0, and the early kick-off today means that they're on 8 points. Ireland on 4 coming into this. Portugal, they're top on 10. They know a win will see it in 3. They've got Armenia at home on Sunday. They must be favoured for, but they want the job done tonight, but it has not gone their way so far, but certainly a long way to go. Here's Vega and now Ronaldo. Left-hand side, midway inside the Irish half. Back to Ronaldo Vega. He said broke through at Chelsea for a loan spell Juventus last year, and then made him permanent to Spain with Villarreal this season. With a utility man who can play across the defence or in midfield, and looks like he's just got a straight swap with Gonzalo Ignacio, who was caught out more than one occasion by Troy Parrott, particularly for the second Irish goal. There's Ruben Neves looking for Semedo, who's running behind, but Scales reads that one and gets it away. Ruben Diaz now into the right hand side, and line there's a 18-yard ball for his Manchester City teammate Bernardo Silva. Back to Diaz, who delivers that one and over everybody, and straight in the gloves of Keegan Keller. Owen Red, who immediately to send Parrott away again. Vitinha back, wins the header, not very convincingly, but in the end, as he will direct it into the path of Ruben Diaz. Now as Parrott puts one hand up as a sail, thank you to his goalkeeper, and it's been a real good evening for a bit of Route 1 football. The purists will enjoy it, but Ireland, it has worked. The pace and the power of O'Bene and Parrott has worked for them. I would imagine that first 45 minutes probably went just about as well as what Heimer Hallgrimsson could imagine. They knew they were going to suit up some pressure. They have done here the first 4 minutes. The side now Vitinha from range blocked by Collins. Out to Semedo on the right hand side, back to Diaz. They had to suck up that pressure, and they did so, and they hit Portugal in the counter-attack. Troy Parrott, the 8th Outmar striker, 13 goals in 14 games, was top this season, now has a double for his come to. Here's Taylor. Coleman under pressure from Dallo, but he gets it away down the right-hand touchdown, picked up by Ruben Neves. He lays off to his namesake Joao, back down to Ruben, Vitinha. 25 yards from goal. Inputting Green behind the ball again, as they have been for much of the first half. Outside of work, get everyone behind the ball and hit them on the break. Out on the left hand side again for Diogo Dalot, the Manchester United man, who had a couple of chances in that first half. Vitinha, he'd been trying his best to pick the Irish lock without success so far through the first 50 minutes. That's 5-0, not 1-5. Now here's Diaz. Back to Vitinha again. He's the furthest man back for Portugal with 30 yards to go. Bernardo Silva, right corner penalty. Zimmers in for Joel finish. Dude header one. He goes by Dara O'Shea. It was indeed. Now back out on the left on tough sign for Dalot. Vitinha. Flicks it back to Ruben Neves. Now on the left on tough side for João Neves. Bodies in the middle for Portugal. It's João Neves, the mini the little Paris Saint-Germain midfielder, to his club teammate Vitinha. Again out of just a low block, I believe it's called now. I'm not going to start that. Get it man behind the ball. The low block, call what you want. That's what Ireland are doing. I may have done it superbly so far. Vega, now to Vitinha in the centre circle. To Ronaldo, looks the runner draw Felix with too long and up will run through. Equating Kelleher, who rolls the ball with studs, invites Shaw Face to come towards him and then picks it up and pulls it underarm to his club teammate, the Brentford pair, Nathan Collins. Now way by Dara O'Shea in the left top side. Nice flick from Parrott, and Azaz nearly get on the end of it, but Diaz will get there instead. Well, Ireland, this win would take them to 7 points, a point behind Hungary, and all of a sudden makes Sunday's game in Budapest a really big one for all involved and keeps this group alive in every single way. It is Portugal, I said, only 2 points clear Hungary, which means that Hungary win and it would take quite the upset for Portugal to lose to both Ireland and Armenia, but we never know. If the Armenians, who with that defeat to Hungary, they are officially the only team in this group done, cannot do anything. If they were to pull off the shock, one of the biggest shocks in European football in recent history, and Hungary can still top the group, but at the very least, Hungary, on one hand, I mean, hope it will be for a Portugal win tonight to guarantee them at least second place, but also this win does still keep them in with a sniff off top spot in the group. As João Felix tries to bring a ball down out of the sky and can't do so. Just throw in Ireland on the right hand side, just inside their own half. It's dry this evening, but across Ireland, not just in Dublin, it has been an absolute stinker of a day. For the rain has been falling. There's weather warnings in place again for tomorrow. So certainly not Portuguese weather, but a lot of these players, you know, they like Ruben Diaz in the ball. He plays in Manchester, but anyone's going to use the better rain, it'll be him. You know, these players play all across Europe, but it should be well used to it. So they can't blame the conditions. The picture of the Viva Stadium is looking pristine, as I mentioned, despite the fact that we are actually in between two Irish rugby internationals. It won last Saturday, another this Saturday again. So the ground Stadium Viva certainly getting their money's worth. They're earning their coin this week, that's for sure, but the pitch looks immaculate. Here's Ruben Diaz. Nelson Semedo, faced up by Liam Scales. Tries a couple of step overs for Barcelona and goals man. And he goes in between Azaz and Scales. Gets it back to Ronaldo. He's right. One from the corner of the penalty area. Well, João Neves tried to flick it home, but that was, one thing of the foil. I believe that, I mean, it's a small criticism, so do you think of his career, but one thing that was always levelled at Cristiano Ronaldo was not always the biggest team player, particularly whenever things aren't going his team's way, and I can't help but feel there was a better option there for the 40-year-old as he tried to arrow that one into goal, and João Neves' flick just couldn't get it on goal. And I mentioned Ireland's recent home record against Portugal. They've lost their last two away, last one to the end of the friendly last year, but their last four at home they've drawn 2 and won 2. Ireland being outshot by 20-5 here, so 4 times the amount of shots. That was quick maths there from Portugal. Semedo back to Diaz. Nice Semedo again on the right hand touchline. Nice little 1-2 with João Neves. He gets to the byline. Challenge with Dara O'Shea. That last touch come off. It was this. There's time hands off the corner to Portugal. But 10 minutes gone in this second half. It remains Ireland 2, Portugal 0 here at Viva Stadium in Dublin. You're listening to March Greaves live for Flash Score Official. Elsewhere in Europe, they have a couple of goals. It's so goals in Andorra and Albania. England leads Serbia by a goal to nil. Bukayo Saka scoring at Wembley. It's still goals in Moldova and Italy, which will 100% confirm Norway's participation at the World Cup, as Renato Vega tries to flick on that corner kick, but is blocked with João Neves. Now Bernardo Silva. France lead Ukraine a second half Kylian Mbappe penalty, the difference between those two. In comes the ball from Nelson Semedo, and lovely header flicked away by Nathan Collins. Seamus Coleman keeps it in the far top side, headed Joao Felix, and I gives it a fin as as. Now Coleman, a good sliding challenge, one blocked there by Joao Felix. Now Vitinha, midway inside the Irish half. Portugal is coming back again. The early kick-offs I mentioned already was Armenia 0, Hungary 1, Azerbaijan 0, Iceland 2, and Norway 4, Estonia 1. Howard sharing the goals this time, two apiece for him and Alexander Sorloth. And again, it was 0-0 at half-time. And they were 4-0 up by the hour mark. And, well, even if Italy were to beat Moldova, which really they should be doing, but are currently being held by the minnows in that group, Norway and Italy clash, and someday it would take a Italy win and a massive swing of goal difference and knock Norway off top spot. Of course, they had that incredible 11-1 win over Moldova earlier in qualifying, so the goals certainly not been a problem for them. And Stella Solbakk's men are just about to more than 1 foot. They've probably got a foot and a half into the World Cup anyway. Back to Dublin, and Nelson Semedo's in the corner with Liam Skeels, and Shadud Sertane is blocked with a Celtic knot. There's clear, and somebody goes as far as Ruben Diaz on the right hand side, about 30 yards from goal. Diaz back to Ruben Neves, the Al Hilal man. Now back to Semedo, Fenerbahce. Good delivery from Semedo, and Collins gets there before Ronaldo. Hard looking for an offside against the Portugal captain, not coming. So they're after defend again. Ruben Neves back to João Neves now, midway inside the Irish half. Back to Vitinha. Bruno Fernandes tonight, he's picked up one too many yellow cards, so he's missing, although will be available for someday. Now Vitinha, his PSG teammate Nuno Mendes is missing with injury. Now here's Parrott as Ireland try to come away with it for the first time in the second half. Azaz, the Coleman on the right hand top side. Back to O'Shea, he sends one forward with Parrott coming back from an outside position, and well, Ireland in the first half were good at they're sending long balls, yes, but it was they felt like there was some direction in the long ball to that one there certainly from O'Shea was not. Now Joao Felix running back at them. That's nice 1-2 between he and Dallo. Now Ronaldo on the edge of the box, forced back to 25 yards out. Vitinha, you can see the 22-meter line of the rugby pitch there. Out on the left-hand top side for Dallo, faced up by Azaz and Coleman. João Neves back to Diogo Dallo. Vega making the overlapping run, but Dallo chooses to ignore him. Goes back to João Neves. He tips him into the back post. Semedo's there. Oh, and his ball across. He tried to hook it back. It took an deflection off Liam Skeels into the gloves of Creedon Keller. So Ireland will take that all day long. 58 minutes gone here, approaching the hour mark in Dublin. It remains Ireland 2, Portugal 0. And Ireland continue to go in search of another famous victory. And they've been in a short supply in recent years. And as victory will at the very least keep their World Cup qualifying campaign going right until the very last game on Sunday in Budapest. Now here's Dallo. Azaz and Coleman doubling up again. Passing it too short for Vega. Across takes a deflection into the gloves of Keller, and an Irishman's end up on the ground in the box. It's Darragh O'Shea, who I think the stays with an elbow on O'Shea, and it's against Ronaldo, and he's been booked. The home crowd enjoyed that one. Ronaldo mostly with the eyes, but I just pushed him. Let's see here if we can see it at the corner of the eye. And well, no, the camera just panned away. Now we'll give it a good look. Oh, Cristiano having a little bit of a temper tantrum there. And then he has the cheek then to pretend that Darragh O'Shea is crying. Well, Ronaldo, the lashing out there somewhat. He's still doing the crying gesture towards Darragh O'Shea. He's already been booked. I think Cristiano Ronaldo, well, it's never only his time to be quiet, but if I were him, I maybe wouldn't draw too much attention to that one, because he is certainly lashed out. And now, I think Glenn Nyberg, our Swedish official, he's pointing to his ear, and I think he's going to take another look at this here. Goodness me, what did this do on the arm mark? Yep, it's a potential red card check against Cristiano Ronaldo for a flailing arm on Darragh O'Shea. He's already been put the Portugal captain. He's already done his semantics there, pretending that Darragh O'Shea was the man to cry whenever he's the one he lashed out in frustration against the Irish defender. Well, the roof on this space nearly came off for both of Troy Parra's goals. At Genia, I think it may even be a bit lighter if Cristiano Ronaldo would have this card upgraded from a yellow to a red. Glenn Nyberg is motioning everyone away. Nathan Coles is Rob Felix having a shot, and now Nyberg's going to have a look at the screen. No, let's see what he's going to do. Boy, if Cristiano Ronaldo were to be sent off here, well, I think there are a lot of people inside the Adidas Stadium who wouldn't be overly happy, because I think there's a lot of Irish fans who are here to have a look at Ronaldo tonight. He's elbowed, he's almost done it in like a punching motion, but caught O'Shea on the back swing nearly, or like a follow through on the elbow, right in the back or in the ribs. Immediately Liam Scales claims for it, as does Nathan Collins. Again, Nyberg hasn't stood and looked very long here, and he's reaching for his pocket, and he's sending Cristiano Ronaldo off. Cristiano Ronaldo's night in Dublin is done after an hour mark. And he applauds the Aviva Stadium crowds of the Irish fans loud this one up. Ronaldo has not taken that one well at all, as you would well imagine. His night is over after the hour mark, which means they're not going to have him on Sunday against Armenia unless there's a quick repeat for it. Ronaldo is still having a word. He's actually now been optioned away by his former teammate at night, Portugal coaching staff Ricardo Carvalho, as Ruben Diaz has a word with him, the great former Chelsea and Portugal defender, trying to get Ronaldo out of this one. But Cristiano Ronaldo is off. His night is done, and now he's having a word to Heimer Howe Grimson. Ronaldo, unless something has been said to him that has been, something derogatory, but don't want that. But otherwise, to me, it just looks like Ronaldo here is gone and is really not taking it well. The frustration he has lashed out there against Dara O'Shea. As I said, almost as he swings around, you almost imagine if you're doing a hip twist in the gym, you're just sort of rotating your hips. He almost rotates his hips and catches them with an elbow on the back, on the follow through of it. He sarcastically applauds the Aviva Stadium crowd, who, as you would imagine, are lapping this up. And now we're going to have a double change here for Portugal. I can see Rafael Leao, the AC Milan man, who's coming on. There's somebody else who I can't quite make out because Roberto Marquinhos is chatting to. And now I can see his number. It's Chinchao, the Sporting Lisbon winger. He's gone for Bernardo Silva. So he's on for Bernardo Silva, should I say. So it's Rafa Leao and Chinchao are on here. Bernardo Silva is the first man off. And we shall see who Leao was on for it. And they're both on the pitch now. I didn't quite see the other Portuguese have. João Felix. So it's João Felix and Bernardo Silva off for Chinchao and Rafael Leao. But massive moment in this second half. Cristiano Ronaldo is off, sent off, straight red card for lashing out and catching Dara O'Shea with a loose elbow. I said a loose elbow. There was nothing loose about it. In fact, he meant to catch Dara O'Shea with a strong elbow, and he did. So Portugal are down to 10 men. Their captain, their main man, Cristiano Ronaldo, his night is done. And now Benny at the other end is going to have a go, and he had Costa diving. The shot went through Ronaldo Vega's legs and wide. In fact, he might have taken a nick off the Portugal defender in a quarter. Indeed it is. So Ireland, it's ricocheted off Vega's legs on the way through. So that's a corner kick to Ireland. Wowee, what a second half this is turning out to be. Ireland 2-0 at half time, and now after the hour, Cristiano Ronaldo initially booked for lashing out at O'Shea. Glenn Nyberg, our Swedish official, going to the VAR board and upgrading to red, and Ronaldo, who was making the hand gestures to say it, Dara O'Shea was crying, and then ended up being sent off. Here comes a corner. O'Shea wins a header. It's flicked back onto the left-hand side for Steele. Oh, nobody dink inside Vega. Taylor grips one in away by João Neves, and Chinchao, the new man, is going to chase down Azaz. And he'll go back to Coleman. He's the furthest man back just inside his own half. Jack Taylor, his shirt is drenched in sweat. Even a cold November night, the Ipswich man's really making life difficult for Portugal. As there, O'Shea stayed up for that one and collided with Dalo, but nothing to it as a goal kick to Portugal. But goodness me, what an advantage for Ireland. They're 2-0 up. Cristiano Ronaldo was sent off and did not take his red card well at all. Some sarcastic applause as the Aviva Stadium roared as Glenn Nyberg with just the red card. Now Portugal have to play without their talisman, their captain, their goal scorer. He scored a double in last month's draw with Hungary. Still plenty of talent on this pitch, so Ireland cannot get complacent. 65 minutes gone. It's Ireland 2, Portugal 0 here at the Viva Stadium. What a night here for Ireland. It's now gone Andorra 0, Albania 1, still England 1, Serbia 0, France 1, Ukraine 0, and still Italy being held by Moldova 0-0. That's the other games that started at 7:45. Greenwich Mean Time tonight as Leao gets to the ball inside, is blocked by Bene. Now Coleman under pressure. Dallo goes to grind in the corner. Leao and Dallo all over him. That's going to be a throw in to Portugal. Ireland were looking for a free kick, maybe a throw in at least, but it's gone the way of the man in all white. The Portugal interchanged the city all white with black trimmed and some red and green flecks on their shirt. Ireland all in green tonight. Vitinha, left corner of the penalty. So there, good ball, fully clear by O'Shea with Tinchal going around the back. And now Leao goes up and wins the header of Bene, but illegally so, says the referee. And Leao not happy with that decision, but as we've said, 66 minutes here. Portugal have used 4 of their 5 subs. Ireland haven't used any yet. As said, though, Heimerhout Grimson sure will keep some bullets in his chamber from when Ireland started to tire, and just at that, almost about some of them, is Adam Ida, the Swansea City forward. He is a happy knack for scoring some big goals for his country, including the stoppage time equaliser in their opening game. He had a 2-2 draw with Hungary. Vega away. Flicked on by Chinchao. Now Leao. And instead of head tennis between him and João Neves, they dropped up by Jack Taylor. Vega. Now Ruben Neves. To Ruben Diaz. Now Semedo on the right hand side. Still inside his own half. Has Liam Scales on one side of him. Finazal's the other, and that's a bit of a tired challenge there from the Celtic man, who's been great all evening as shepherding the Portuguese attackers, and he's perhaps lucky not to get a yellow card there, so I wouldn't imagine there'll be too many more warnings though for Liam Scales. His free kick taken quickly. João Neves to Vitinha in the centre circle for Portugal. Vega inside the Irish half. On the left flank now for Dallo, who cuts inside Coleman with his cut off out Bene. Gets it back to Renato Vega. Now Vitinha. Vitinha, Irish on the right hand top side, taken down there, lovely touch by Chinchao. Chinchao was number 1 and it's just too long for João Neves, who was sliding, trying to get to on a point site for a goal kick. We might see the Ireland. Geez, that is the number 10 of Adamaida, who is coming on. He is replacing Troy Parrott. What a night for Parrott. It's a like for like change here. We're also going to see the introduction of Conor Coventry, a charging athletic midfielder, but Troy Parrott, the double goal scorer. First one set up and not by a cross goal by Liam Scales. The second one was all him beating Joe Costa with a low shot at his near post right on the stroke of half time to double Ireland's lead. He's been a bit quieter in the second half, but what a night created out more forward. He gets a big hug from Heimerhout Grimson. Well, I think he wanted to stay on and we try and chase a half big Parrott. He's off for Adam Ida. It's going to be Jack Taylor, who has run himself into the ground, who's going to be replaced here by Conor Coventry on 68 minutes. So that's your double change. It is Parrott and Taylor off, 2 men. Parrott the double goal scorer, and Taylor has been such an energetic man in that midfield all night. It's going to be Parrott and Taylor off for Ida and Coventry here on 68 minutes. Conor Coventry for West Ham youngster, back in the Ireland fold after a while away. He's been playing well in the Championship for Charlton Athletic. Kelleher flicked on now Bene, did it for Ida immediately in the action, but Semedo gets there first. Now Ruben Diaz, who has taken the captain's armband since Cristiano Ronaldo's been sent off, back to Diogo Costa, all in yellow with the Porto goalkeeper for Portugal tonight, who has nothing he could have done with the first goal, but certainly didn't really cover himself and throw into the second one. But here come Portugal again. João Neves looking for Olaf Leao. Well read by Jake McBrien. He goes to grind after colliding with Leao, and for the second time just coming on the AC Milan now. Leao has been jostling Irish defenders and coming up. They're always side of the referee's decision. Or has he? It's just a throw in or nothing more. It is just a throw in, and Dan Nyberg telling Jake O'Brien to get on with it. He's limping somewhat after that collision with Leao. He's a big man, Rafa Leao. I'm sure it's not a nice feeling to come together with him, but we've got just over 20 minutes plus stoppage time to go here at the Aviva Stadium. It remains as it was at half time. Ireland 2, Portugal 0, but the big moment in the second half that happened just around 10 minutes ago was the red card to Cristiano Ronaldo, initially booked for lashing out and catching Dara O'Shea with an elbow that was then upgraded to a red card by referee Den Nyberg after a check of the VAR screen. And the 40-year-old who's still Portugal's talisman, their captain, their leader, their goal scorer, his night is done unless they have unlikely, I'd imagine, an appeal in. He will miss somebody's finale with Armenia that all of a sudden, if Portugal don't pull something back here in the last 20 minutes, will be a meaningful game for them. They're probably hoping to win that last game. Have already coasted into the World Cup, but not so. Leao into the box here at the byline. Right there's O'Shea. Good challenge with Dara O'Shea. He falls to his knees. Now as he slides on the dump surface, he slides it away down the top side. Diaz now for Portugal. Chinchal, as a winger, he hasn't really got involved too much up the pitch, but he finds Vitinha. Now it's Neves to Vega. Dowlow, left-hand top side line with the 18-yard box. Back to Vitinha. A massive win this will be for Ireland. Flicked on by Diaz. Is a ball by cross goal. And Leao trying to get a man of his Hugo Dowlow again, who's been an attacking threat today for Portugal. Being none that one across goal, and Dara O'Shea getting between the ball on Rafa Leao again. Well, the ball out for a goal kick, but I think Leao would have fouled O'Shea anyway. There's Diaz, a little tip ball over the top. Dowlow got away from his man. I couldn't quite make out who it was, but Dara O'Shea shielding the ball well from Rafael Leao, and that's a goal kick. Jared will just take him short. And Kelleher to Cohen's. And now Cohen, who's at a great night, that Irish engineer again. O'Shea forward, not a great ball. Well dealt with by Semedo, but picked up by Azaz, who can't keep it in. There's a throw into Portugal on the right hand side, midway inside their own half. Semedo takes it back to Diaz. Now Ruben Neves, as I mentioned, his stoppage time goal last month won the return leg of this 1-0 for Portugal. So certainly Roberto Martinez's men have not had things their own way against Heimer Halgrim's side in either game. And tonight they have found themselves behind by 2-0. Here's Diogo Dalo. Coleman out, Bene doubling up on him. He goes inside to João Neves. Now Vitinha, midway inside the Irish half, very central. Right on the right hand side for Chinchao. Is he going to try and take on Scales? Hazaz is there too. He refuses to go back to Diaz. Ruben Diaz, and inside to Ruben Neves. Right on to the left top side for João Neves. So we've got from Ruben to Ruben, Neves to Neves there. And now back inside to Vitinha. So you're going to have a pop from range. Azaz closes him down. So he just jinked it out to the left hand side for João Neves. And now Diogo Dalo. Coleman there again on Bene in close proximity. Back to Neves. Portugal keeping the ball with Ireland just forming a green wall and fumbling. Diaz. Everyone behind the ball for Ireland as Portugal around 30 or 35 yards away from goal. Renato Vega tries to pierce the hole, and then it's flicked on by João Neves is picked off, and now Bene is going to test the pace of Vega. Yeah, part of the reason Vega come on for Ignacio. Vega is a quicker. I mentioned he's a utility man. Can play anywhere across the back line or in midfield, and that time the VRL man mocked up well. Perhaps you're going to see tiring legs of Chidoso Bene. Chinchao now for Portugal on the right hand top side on halfway. Again, Ireland get everybody back. Vitinha in the centre circle, right on the left hand top side for João Neves. Bene closing down again, bites into the tackle, but Neves gets away to Vega. And now Vitinha. Semedo up into the elbow by O'Shea. Azaz wins the header, and again. And now Ida is going to test the pace of Ruben Diaz. He just stretches just enough, the Man City man, to divert it back to Diogo Costa. Can save his goal to get that one, but Ida was a step or two away from getting away from Ruben Diaz there, or even big foul by Trinchao now. Right hand top side, midway inside the Irish half. Back to Diaz again. He was muddied his good white shirt. The kit man will not be happy with that. Here's Leao. Over hit past the Scales. Roberto Martinez will not be happy with that. Now Zaz on the left hand top side. He's looking for options. There's not really many there other than the hero ball over to the far side for Bennett. So he just chooses to play safe and go back to O'Shea. That Collins, the leader of this Irish side, on the edge of his own box. To O'Brien, to Coleman, who might not be winning the armband side, but goodness me, what a leader he is. 37 years old, pride of Merseyside for Everton and a pride of County Donegal. Jake O'Brien, the pride of County Court, looking for another court man, and Adam Ida. And Adam Ida has held off the defender here. He's on his own Ida, but he's got support now. Azaz of Bene, right corner of the penalty area. Chijulcio Bene, back to Finn Azaz. There's the ball to Titus, set himself deflected wide. Corner for Ireland. Ibibia's going to want that one back, but he's actually going the ground here now. There's going to be suffering any cramp. He just could not get that ball away. But as a corner anyway, Ireland will take that one all day long. Of Bene rolling it to his hands, and you could just see that he lined up out of shot. You did see the muscle just sort of coiled back up his leg, but the deflection takes a line for a corner on Azaz. Just having his leg stretched. It may not last too much longer, but it's a corner for Ireland anyway. He is back on his feet and lurking on the edge of the box. 75 minutes gone. We've had 3/4 of this game gone. I can see now the Festi Evasere of Istanbul Basaksehir here on the bench. Ireland have 2 MLS men on the bench. I mentioned earlier, Kevin O'Toole of New York City FC and Anthony Burhani's on loan to LAFC. Deep ball in. Skeels wins the header. Collins goes up with Bobby O'Reilly. Semedo was in there. Shot head is still going around. There's been a break now for Coventry, and that's another quarter for Ireland. So Ireland looking for a hand in there. They barely had some help from the VAR officials now. They know this time of Glenn Nyberg. Whoa. Nelson Semedo, lucky boy. Collins went up with the header, and Semedo, that ball hits his elbow. Was he and Jake O'Brien are challenging for it? So Ralph Portugal getting away with one there. So Josh Cullen to take this corner. Harrow's one in there. Another good delivery. Up goes O'Shea and Vega. Skeels challenging for the back post. Benny keeps it in. Enough from an offside position. Portugal is still playing, but the offside flag has been up to now. They're going to try to get a hurried free kick noise. That Irish corner comes to the end. As I mentioned, 2 MLS men on the bench for Ireland. They've got Andy Moran, who's spent the part of the second half of the season on LASC from Blackburn Rovers. And not far be it from me to make any judgments about Blackburn versus life in Los Angeles, but I'm sure Andy Moran has enjoyed himself out in the West Coast. And also, of course, they've got Kevin O'Toole, the New York City FC man, born and raised in New Jersey, with an Irish grandfather who left Dublin for the US in the 1950s. Has been called up this week. Maybe see a debut today, maybe too big a moment for Heimer Halgrimsson to put him in. We shall see. But Dallo now in there with Pullman. I can see the another party side, Gonzalo Ramos is ready to come on as Diogo Dallo treads on the Seamus Kovacic go deep in a right back position, and Ireland will take that one all day. Dallo with a few harsh words for Coleman. Like Dallo tried to say he usually the one stood on. The one that was wrong, but free kick given the way of Ireland. They'll take that one all day long. And Gonzalo Ramos is made himself somewhat of a super sub for Paris Saint-Germain this season. Luis Enrique and Roberto Martinez will hope that he can do the same here for Portugal. He's replacing his club teammate João Neves, so they're going to get him to lead the line. Since they're now looking at him, really had an out-and-out striker on now. They've got a literal number 9 as Ramos wears number 9 shirt, and a real number 9 forward for the last 12 or so minutes. Is it a bit too late to getting him on? Ramos, he recently scored late winners against Barcelona and Nice for PFG. He's going to have to really pull the rabbit out of the hat here now for Portugal, but he's on. That's the 5th and final Portuguese sub, and there's a foul now by Dallo on Bene, and the match is now. Man, have to be careful here. You might become another man in the Glenn Nyberg book here is for cumulative fouling and all over Bene. I mentioned the Irish rugby team. Maybe Andy Farrell, their coach, will be looking at Dallo to see if he can hang around here this Saturday where they play Australia before he goes back home to Armenia on Sunday. So Dallo grappling there with Bene, and now we're going to see how Silva. It's going to be Finn Azaz who's off. Mentioned he pulled up a cramp there a minute ago. I was going to see Festi Ebasele is bouncing from foot to foot there, ready to come on. The former Watford Udinese man, as I mentioned, now playing his football in Turkey for Istanbul Basaksehir here. Good to be what a man to be bringing on here late in the game. So much energy and pace and power for Festi Ebasele, and he'll look to use that Farron's advantage. Last 11 minutes stoppage time here. We've got 79 minutes gone in Dublin. 2-0 to Ireland. Free kick taken now of Bene. We whipped in that at Cullen. Header won by, it was up by O'Brien. This is going to bounce harmlessly wide. Diogo Costa hurries over to get it. The goal kick here for Portugal. Elsewhere by the way, just similar qualifiers of Europe. It's still 1-0 to England. The winner. All these games either in or approaching the last 10 minutes. It's 1-0 to Albania against Andorra. England leads Serbia by 0-0 thanks to Bukayo Saka. It's still goalless to Team Moldova and Italy, which will suit Norway nicely. They can go into some of these games with Italy knowing they're 100% qualified at this stage. They got France leading Ukraine 2-0. 2 goals the second half. A Kylian Mbappe penalty and one from Michael Olise, giving Didier Deschamps' men the 2-0 lead at home to Ukraine. Here it is still Ireland 2, Portugal 0. There's Nelson Semedo. Faced up Eva Stede, too many play their club football in Turkey. Back to Vitinha now. Connor Coventry closing him down. Now Renato Vega. And it's 35 yards from goal. He's almost like a quarterback, just trying to get into the pocket and makes some space for himself to make a pass, but instead he'll just hand it off to Renato Vega. The key to his regular football analogy is coming. Here's Diaz. Now Chin Shao, right corner of the pound the air. Never said it. Snapping at his heels too. Diaz now to Semedo. Chin Shao, never said it. Follow him again. Steele's out there too. Liam Steele's, what a performance he's put in at left back of this back five. A centre half by three of Liam Steele's, but has really stuck to his task superbly through these first 80 minutes here now in Dublin. Still 2-0 to Ireland over Portugal. Here's Rafa Leao. Well, Benny is there. Twisting and turning, and Leao was just running that one into play. Ireland will take that one all day long. Throw in for the hosts, and they will not be in a hurry to take this one. A massive, massive result this to be for Ireland. Just in its, obviously in the context of the group, to keep things active and keep things alive and really make that game of Budapest on Sunday a winner takes all cash. Also, just to get the mood lifted among these Irish supporters. Ida biting into tackle and Ruben Neves, but the Al Hilal man will keep it. Now Ruben Diaz on the halfway line. He's off to Vitinha. As I said, has been trying to pull strings in that midfield, as he so often does for club and company, but it hasn't really paid off for him or his teammates. Gives it back for Chin Shao. And now Vega midway inside. The Irish have sent Bill tips one forward, and neither Ramos nor Semedo are going to get anywhere near that one. That's a goal kick, and Vega, well, that was probably in Portuguese, but I think I get the idea of what he was trying to say to himself after that one. And Roberto Martinez still trying to guide his team forward. The Portuguese fans at the end behind Diogo Costa's goal now. It was full of colour and noise at the start of the game. Not so much now. We're also going to see another defensive change for Ireland. The Queen's Park Rangers defender Jimmy Dunn is going to join us very shortly, so that will be out of 4 of the 5 Irish subs used. Al Grimson really has spread them out through this second half. We've already seen the introduction of Adam Ida, Connor Coventry and Festi Evasated. Now here's Dalu getting forward. Ramos leads it off for Ruben Neves. Portugal already used all 5 of their subs. Ruben Neves, the back post, looking for Semedo, too long. And every time the ball was too long, was out for a goal kick or a throw in. Moves out in fans behind Creevy Keller's goal, that Amstein Road End are thoroughly enjoying themselves. Semedo was never cut to that one. Keller now would just need to be cut off. He doesn't fall in the wrong side of Glenn now. Burker some time wasting here, but I'm sure the 50 yellow card will take that one all day long. Keller, no short goal kick this time. He motions everybody to get forward and booms a long goal kick up over halfway. Headers one to Ruben Neves above Bene, Collins and Shea. They stumble and Ramos comes in. Look back to Caliper they go. Neves Sene trying to get our side of Diaz, who wins a good glancing header. And out for it, still in on halfway on the left hand side. That Eimer Hopkins just tells Dara O'Shea to slow things down, gives it to Liam Scales. He is the left back. He's also wearing the number 3 shirt, Liam Scales. Not man Jimmy Dunn coming on, not just on out of here yet. Now there's Cullen 1-2 with Bene. Now Evasede on the left hand corner of the pound there, faced up by Semedo. Evasede fancies the chances, gives past him. Semedo sticks with him well though and forces Festi Evasede into the corner, but that is a bit of a corner. As the last touch comes off the Portuguese defender, and that is wonderful work there from Festi Evasede. Immensely your pace and park, and he used it all in abundance there. Just eke a corner out of Portugal, just kill it more time. Still O'Brien Scales O'Shea currently forward investigating the games. Ireland not just content to keep it in the quarter just yet. We've played 84 minutes, so 6 minutes plus stoppage time left as Josh Cohen is getting ready to take this corner. Still no set of Jimmy Dunn joining us just yet. Cohen delivers it deep. A header, free header with Scales, but away by Dallo. Evasede keeps it alive at the edge of the box. Shaw is there by Vitinha, but it's going to drop now for O'Brien. It beats the out of this ball. Midway inside the Portuguese half. Back with Collins, who was all the way back into his own half to Connor Coventry. Now Dara O'Shea on halfway for Ireland. They're keeping the ball in Portuguese territory. Garrett haven't kept the ball a whole lot tonight. We're going to see a double sub here. It'll be the last of the Irish subs, I believe. It was Mikey Johnston. So not going to quite see a debut yet for Kevin O'Toole. That's out him down there. I can't recognise him, but it looks like West Bromwich Albion man Mikey Johnston out of Bene has sprung the offside trap. But that was cool over here. Bene forced wide, and I tried to get that one on goal, but it just wide of the post. But 85 minutes gone here. Diogo Costa trying to take a quick goal kick, but I think now Ireland are going to be allowed to make these subs. Then just didn't get a long goal. That's going to be his last action, actually. Then another man who just ran himself into the ground tonight. That's what he's so good at doing. He's a brilliant all evening, and he takes it as deserved applause in the Vita Stadium. His applause to the Vita Stadium a bit different than Cristiano Ronaldo's dripping with sarcasm. It is indeed the West Bromwich Albion on Mikey Johnston who replaces him. As maybe Liam Steele, who also deserves a massive round of applause. What a performance from him. He's off. That is the QPR man, Jimmy Dunn, who's on for him here. Ireland look to see this one out of the last 4.5 minutes till stoppage time. Liam Steele has done a wonderful job marking whatever attacker Portugal put out on that right-hand touchline all night long. He and O'Bennett did a good job. So Johnston and Dunn, well, they asked to do the same job here for the last few minutes. And in this one, as Ireland have now used all of their substitutes. So just to confirm, that's O'Bennett and Steele's off, and Johnston and Dunn on for Ireland. Now here's Leao looking frustrated as Johnston throws them down. He has no option but to go back to Vitinha. Now Ruben Neves. And on the right hand top side for Trincao was done. Will have his first job to be. Trincao does go left and across. It is deep. Good header won by Dara O'Shea above Ramos. Good up for Semedo. Strikes the edge of off by Dallo. Blocked by Conor Connolly. Superb work. Colvin and Leao go for a last touch. Comes off the Milan player. But it's going to be a throw in right in the corner. I'm sure I would have preferred the goal kick. But we'll take it either way as Josh Cohen embraces Conor Connolly there. A brilliant block. The charge nothing every man. Put his body in the way of a Diogo Dallo effort who has really had. I probably think if you told him it off, I'd imagine Diogo Dallo has had maybe if not the majority, and certainly close to the majority of the chances for Portugal side. But they have had many. Ireland haven't had too many, but goodness me, they have made use of what they have. Pushed forward by Connolly for Evasedi to chase. Diaz beats him too, and it was back to Costa just on the edge of his own box. The Portugal goalkeeper, who, as I mentioned earlier, nothing we could have at the first goal, but certainly will not want to see the second one back too many times. Ruben Neves looks for Leao, well read by Coleman, 37 years old. He's going to play 90 plus minutes here tonight, the Everton man, all the right of a back five, and he has been locked down good all evening. Vitinha now, he has tried to pick that lock all evening, but so far no joy. Back to Ruben Diaz. Ships on forward, looking for Ramos. Header won by Dara O'Shea. It's going to drop the edge of the box. Oh, what a sea of grieving Kelleher. Massive moment. It wasn't Ramos initially. There was Ramos with the second effort. He smashed that one low and hard, and Kelleher has to tip it around the post. That could have been a massive moment there. There's actually a header won by Jacob Brand above Ruben Neves with drop for Gonzalo Ramos. We hit it low and hard and tipped around the post by Kelleher. Deja not gone yet. Corner for Portugal. Taken by Trincao. In it comes. Good header away as a couple of bodies end up on the ground as Vega and Cullen. And now Evasedi coming away for Ireland. Looking for Johnston, but Semedo gets there first. And Portugal will come back. Good defence again from Ireland. They've been so solid all night. Trincao, Evasedi and Dunn marking him. Force him inside. Trincao looking for a shot. Gets it away. It's blocked by the head of Dara O'Shea. After the hurt, it's going to roll all the way back inside the Portuguese half. The only man in that Portuguese half is the man in the yellow, Diogo Costa. Vitinha, Portugal desperate for one back. Fights Semedo in behind. Dunn gives back well. Semedo comes it back. Nobody there. Vega is forward as the extra striker. He can't get to Kelleher to quite his goal to narrow the angle. Evasedi, that's not a great clearance. Vitinha will come back out of here now, right corner of the penalty area. Portugal throwing the kitchen sink at Ireland, but even one back now only halves the deficit. But they have to start somewhere. And the first 89 minutes, they haven't been able to do that. Ruben Neves, a wall of green again in front of them. Hannibal have known there. Will have known their assignment all night. Vega hits one from Reeves, blocked by Johnston. They'll take that one, no problem. Vitinha gets to it before Johnston, but has to go back to Costa, who's midway inside his own half. Now Diaz. We're into the final minute of the 90 here. We're going to see very shortly what sort of added time we'll have. Diaz forward. Good header away by Jake O'Brien. Cullen now almost inviting the challenge from Ramos, hoping for a foul. It doesn't come. So roll eye on the right hand side for Coleman. We hammers it clear. Down the right hand top side. Now Aida's going to test Ronaldo Vega's pace. Vega does beat him to it and then tries to keep it in, and the gives the way to Aida. And now Ireland have a chance here. Ireland Aida in the box. Mikey Johnston jumps on his right foot block. Man away then by Portugal. He had Elisei and Aida with him there. Mikey Johnston, but just couldn't do anything with it. Now Portugal come forward again with Leao. Midway side Irish half. Looks for Ramos, but Collins will see it back to Keller, who actually will let it roll over the goal line for a goal kick. I'm sure at this point now he'll take a yellow card for a bit of time wasting. Portugal, the moments of second, they're ticking away. Big save from Queven Keller. Now Gonzalo Ramos low to his left. But other than that, it has been slim pickings for Ireland. And as we're into 7 out of minutes, Liam Scales is sitting on the bench and has just had a yellow card confirmed for some unknown reason. Diedrichs is baffled as me, but 7 minutes added on here, so it's not over yet for Ireland. But what a wonderful defensive job here. Vega beats Aida to that one, but Cullen puts it up into that high into the dark Dublin night sky. The rain has stayed off all night. Aida wins the header. Devasetti onside here. I think he is Devasetti. Trying to get away here for the Portuguese defence, and eventually a flag comes up. I thought he might have stayed onside, but nothing doing. Diaz takes the free kick quickly to Vitinha. Vitinha forward a bit for Leao. Good header again by O'Brien. This defensive effort from the boys in green has been superb. Right, Johnston over halfway, a bit of fresh legs. Gets past Dallo, but Vitinha gets across the cover. But Johnston's all over him. Lovely bit of skill from Vitinha to keep it in. And Portugal are inside their own half and need to get forward. It's Ruben Neves now for Portugal. Elsewhere, by the way, Italy have scored 2-8 to go 2-0 over Moldova. So Norway will have to wait just a little longer to celebrate qualification. They're all but there. We know it'll take a massive goal sling lately facing Norway on Sunday for that not to happen. England, 2-0 in the stoppage time against Serbia. Albania beating Andorra. France are 4-0 up over Ukraine. That's had all those games that could there going to meander to close. This one, Ireland 2, Portugal 0. We're 2 minutes into 7 added on in Dublin. This one's certainly not meandering. Diaz cross flicked on by Dallo. He's in the box. Back out there to Trincao. Faced up by Dunn on the byline. Trincao gets past Dunn. Gets the ball into the middle. Away it goes. Comes out big on the edge of the box. Dipping volley. Didn't dip enough. And into the gleeful arms of the Ireland fans behind Queven Kelleher's goal. And ultimately, for most of the night, for all Portugal's pressure, for all their shots of goal, for all their possession, a lot of them have looked like that effort from Renato Vega. Long range pop shots that have been blocked before they get to Queven Kelleher, or have not tested the Ireland goalkeeper at all. He made a super save there a few moments ago from Gonzalo Ramos. That had that one gone in, we had really had the cavalry coming. But it's the 10 men of Portugal. Remember, Cristiano Ronaldo was sent off. Straight red card just on the honour mark for an elbow on Dara O'Shea. It was originally a yellow card, then upgraded to a red. And that has been probably as big a cheater as Troy Parrott's first half double. But the AZ Alkmaar man looks like he may have got a famous win for Ireland. Neves is straight at Kelleher, who holds it and then falls forward gleefully onto that ball. Another long range effort from Portugal, and another one dealt with by the Brentford and Ireland goalkeeper. He booms one long for Aida. Diaz wins a header. Vitinha back to Costa under pressure with Cole. We face 3 of the 7 minutes added on here at the Aviva Stadium. Who saw this one coming? Certainly not me. This was Portugal were supposed to stroll home to victory here over Ireland, confirm their place at the World Cup. They're going to have to work hard. There's nothing to say they shouldn't do it, but they're going to have to win the Sunday's game at home to Armenia, still with something to play for. Ireland are going to go into Sunday's game away to Hungary and Budapest with something still to play for. This victory is going to put them up to 7 points. Hungary are a point ahead of them on 8. Portugal further 2 ahead on 10. That's another long range effort from Gonzalo Ramos wide of the post. Keller with just a bit of almost a dive to the cameras. That one wasn't going anywhere near the goal. And another Cork man, there's Duke O'Brien, Queven Keller, Adamite, all the Cork men out in the pitch now. But it is here in Dublin as Rahal Grimson is still making notes in his notebook, even 4 minutes into 7 added on. The Irish fans are bouncing, they're singing, they're dancing in the Aviva Stadium. They are going to take a massive scalp over the side ranked 5th in the world, the side top of the group, the side who have lost just 1 of their last 16 games. And we're on the cusp of qualifying for a 7th straight major tournament. They still will probably do it on Sunday, but Ireland are going to make them wait until the weekend if nothing else. Vitinha, low ball for Leao. Coleman gets in and hooks out for a throw into Portugal, roughly in line with the 82-yard box. Leao takes it to Vitinha, back to Leao, left-hand touchline. Out there now is Johnston with him. Vitinha curls one in, flicked on by Ramos and flicked over. I said he was being the super sub for Paris Saint-Germain this season, and he's tried his best here for Portugal, but nothing has worked so far for his teammates all night, and it hasn't worked for him since the introduction. Roberto Martinez sits, pursed lips, one finger over his mouth. This certainly hasn't gone the way he would have thought tonight. The swathes of Portugal fans in the far end behind Diogo Costa's goal. Many of them, of course, living in Ireland these days. The big Portuguese contingent in Ireland. Some of them will have travelled, but whoever they're come from to watch their team tonight, it has not gone the way they wanted to. It's done. We'll see that one out in front of Trincao. Roberto Martinez gives the QPR man the ball, but he's going to be in no hurry here. Jimmy Dunn has he good looks for Green to find the throwaway. A lob it down the touchline for Ida. Good touch from him. Evacede's in there, as is Semedo. Has Portugal come away? The Evacede fouls Semedo. Another challenge that we could out well here at the Aviva Stadium on Saturday when Ireland Rugby face Australia. Now here's Vitinha. Portugal getting forward, approaching the last minute of the 7 added on here. Leao was running at Johnston and Coleman. Super slide tackle from Coleman. It's out for a throw-in. The roar from the Ireland man, the Everton man, the legend of Irish football, 37 years old, Seamus Coleman, and he has played a full 90 plus minutes and has kept this Portugal side, this talented Portugal side, completely under wraps. Vitinha, we're into the last minute now of the 7. Is there time for Portugal to do something? Flicked on by Neves. Dudden heads it away. Evacede's going to get there, and he's just going to hammer that one down the touchline. Out for a throw in on the boys. John O'Shea with a dummy who thought he was going to catch it, but he lets it run. Ruben Diaz near the end of the Irish bench gets that ball back, but it's surely going to be 2-8 now. They're 2-0 down. Portugal being 3-0 down since the stroke of half time. They went 1-0 down in 17 minutes for the thanks to Troy Parrott. Now 2-0 around the stroke of half time, and Conor Coventry intercepts, lays it off for Seamus Coleman to boom that forward. Ida will shot after it, but it's Sumichius Vega all the way back to the edge of his box, and that will do nicely for Ireland. Diaz, one last attack for Portugal, but it's now at this point it's only going to be a consolation. Ireland are just wanting to keep the clean sheet now. Out to Dallo on the left flank, midway inside the Irish half, back to Vitinha, and now Diaz. We're now just over the 7 minutes gone. Diaz in, away by O'Shea, and now back to Vega. Glenn Nyberg looks at his watch. Vitinha. Dummies, they're nearly in the centre circle here, Portugal, and they're going to finish there because Ireland have beaten Portugal by 2-0 in Dublin tonight. One of the famous nights of Irish football, and it keeps the World Cup qualifying hopes alive into the last game on Sunday in Hungary. What a game that's going to be in Budapest now. West Group is wide open. Portugal will still have work to do against Armenia on Sunday. They took a good 1-10. Hungary in second and 8, and now Ireland snapping at their heels on 7. Troy Parrott is the hero. A double for the AZ Alkmaar forward in the first half. A red card on the arm mark for Cristiano Ronaldo, who rather petulantly applauded all quarters of the Aviva Stadium as he left the pitch. But it is Troy Parrott, and who is getting all the applause from the Ireland fans. Seamus Coleman pumps that Irish badge. What a performance from him, the 37-year-old. Cleveland Kelleher goal was solid. Portugal were really limited to some long-range opportunities. Kelleher not worked as much as he would have thought, but every Irish player, to a man tonight, those that started, those that come off the bench, were superb. And this party will go on long into the night. And for those travelling over to Budapest on Sunday, what a weekend in store for them. With Hungary winning earlier, and Ireland coming to this one as rank outsiders, and there's many probably arriving at the Aviva Stadium tonight. Well, all hopes of the World Cup qualification done. It's still out of their hands. Well, it's in their hands, with apologies. They've beaten Hungary. They're into second place. This game on Sunday now is going to be a big one. Thank you so much for joining me today for a famous night in Irish football. It has finished here at the Aviva Stadium. Ireland 2, Portugal 0, a double from Troy Parrott. I've been Mark Stees. Thanks for joining me today. Run. Hey. Now, I'm doing fan. Yeah.